Hello and welcome back to Only Analogue. Remember this? This is Kodacolor 200 by Kodak. If you're new to film photography, you probably won't recognise this or may not have seen it before, but some of the veterans may remember this from back in the day. I've done a little bit of research on this and I can't find a whole lot of information about the emulsion itself. If you do a quick, there's very limited. The information is quite limited if you do a quick Google search on this. So I've shot quite a few rolls of this now. I was lucky enough to get a big bag of this bloody train. I was lucky enough to be given a load of this a while ago when I started getting back into film photography. These are the last couple rolls that I've got left now. So the reason behind me coming out today and shooting a roll of this, I was recently looking back through a few photos that I'd taken when I started getting back into film photography, and I saw a few shots that I'd taken on this Kodacolor film, and I just absolutely adore the colours. This is expired film. Obviously you do run some risks with shooting expired film. This expired in 2005 actually. The last time I shot it, it seems to have held up pretty well, so fingers crossed. But yeah, I'm down in Hastings today. I know me and Tom have shot here a numerous amount of times now, but whenever I'm here I'm always super inspired, and I absolutely love it down here. So I'm going to load up my Canon AE-1 with a roll of this and we'll see what we can get. So enjoy. So I just wanted to jump in here real quick and talk about this first shot. I think the blues are extremely vibrant here. From what I remember from shooting Kodacolor before, it had some really pastel pinks and blues. This shot in particular, the blues are really dark and deep. It's got some really rich blues in there. The reds are almost burgundy as well. I tried to avoid a lot of colour corrections and lighting corrections in post as much as I could. So the colours and the lighting that you're seeing are roughly as out of the scanner as they can possibly be. But you know, these first few shots I'm overly impressed with. It's not how I remember Kodacolor at all. So this roll of Kodacolor that I shot today hasn't been cold stored. It's been left on my shelf for the last 2 years, which is probably when I shot the last roll. So you know, there are going to be some shifts in colour, there's going to be some degradation of the film itself, so you know, that all comes into effect. These are definitely my favourite shots of the day. This one in particular is probably my favourite. For expired film, it's got some really nice, strong, rich colours in there. And I absolutely love the way the shadows are cast across the side of the boat as well. It really makes for an interesting image. It's probably good to mention as well that I shot this at 100 ISO, so a step down from the recommended 200 ISO. And the reason for doing that is obviously this film does degrade over time. I knew it had been left on my shelf for the last 2 years. I believe it was cold stored before that, but that's the reason I shot it at 100 ISO. The general rule of thumb is they say you should shoot a stop over for every decade that the film has expired for. I found this isn't always the case, but it's a good general rule of thumb. I always like to overexpose my negatives slightly. It's just something that I prefer to do with my colour film anyway. What's interesting, as we move through the day, you'll see the photos shift slightly in colour and richness. So when we arrived, it was clear blue sky, as you can probably tell from the photos, and then all the clouds rolled in and it became really overcast and dreary. There was not a lot of light left in the sky. So what's interesting is, even though it's expired, it performed beautifully in the well-lit clear blue sky part of the day, and then as we went on, the photos become a little bit bleached. All the highlights are sort of really blown out. It still made for some really good shots. I think the shots still look great. It's not my preferred look when it comes to colour film. I don't really like that bleached out highlights in the sky. I like to have some colour there. As me and Tom have said before, shooting expired film does come with its risks. You'll get obviously certain colour shifts as time goes on, degradation of the film. The grain can become more prominent. You might lose one colour completely. We've had a few rolls where they've just been, completely red. Or you might not get anything at all. That's always the risk when shooting expired film. So I did actually find some information on Kodacolor. It took me quite a bit of digging. It's saying on here that Kodacolor is the equivalent to Kodak Gold, but it was sold at a lower price. It's quite popular with some labs who offered it as a free replacement film when returning the rolls to the customers for their negatives or print orders. And what's interesting is the Colour Plus film, dated from around 2007, is thought to be an improved version of the Kodacolor 200. It's an interesting emulsion. There's still some sort of grey area between what the emulsion actually is itself. There's a lot of different information on the internet, but I think this is probably the best thing that I found so far. Yeah, if anyone has got any more information on this, please do let me know below. Me and Tom are thinking about doing a series on expired film. We do actually have quite a lot of it, and obviously with colour film becoming increasingly harder to get a hold of, there's a lot to be learned out of shooting expired film, getting the best results out of expired film itself. So if that's something anyone's interested in, please do let us know in the comments below. So yeah, that's just about going to wrap up today's video. I hope you did enjoy. If you did, please leave it a like, drop a comment below and let me know what you thought as well. And please do hit that subscribe button as well. It really means the world to both me and Tom. Thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you've enjoyed, and we'll catch you in the next one. Peace.